Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OCU Pro League. Potentially the final game of tonight as the last match has been cancelled. But we're into game 2 of Tension vs Avant-Garde. Game 1 went dominantly in favour of Tension. Of course, my name is TJ, my co-host. He's what happens when engine oil meets McDonald's special sauce. Working with hamburgers and monster trucks, it's I hold shift.
I could have sworn the secret sauce of McDonald's did include axle grease or whatever, motor oil, whatever you said. I was laughing too hard to comprehend your words as they passed over me.
Well, regardless of that, as I'm sure you curiously say all the time, and regardless of TJ, we're right into the game. The point is already being held by Avant-Garde, and some great play by Akmo over on the Grover as he throws out a few grenades. Sok is going to be playing very aggressively. Dark Wolf is just roasting. And look at this bottled up play from Tension. It's not working out for them.
No, it's not. You have two tanks. You have advantage if you just get on the point. You have the health pools loose. You should, to start things off, you should have the health pools to do. But Sasha able to hit a huge fireball and then follow it up with the sprint in and the incredible flamethrower play to secure 2 of those kills. Snuggle Waffle looking for an escape. That will be denied by Navo, and it's going to be all Avant-Garde to start in dominating fashion.
There's the objective captured. Sok GG will throw out a few fireballs, but the real story is still the damage. Xanax will grab Joey G, actually putting a bit of a halt on some of that. Nightfall throwing out a few heals will back up Dark Wolf's push. There's Dark Wolf holding the line very aggressively. This is the kind of hold we need to see out of them if they even hope to start putting up a defense. There's half HP almost the entirety of Avant-Garde as Tension finally grow a spine and start tearing them apart. But Joey G, Akmo, they say why they shouldn't. 3 quick kills, and almost instantly the entire hold from Avant-Garde is obliterated.
Snuggle Waffle, what are you doing, man? Use that Dredge Anchor. He was sitting behind the Fernando shield forever and only got 1 pull, and no one was able to focus. He got the pull on Akmo, but Akmo just vined his way out relatively safely, and meanwhile, all the damage was coming in from Joey G and Navo. It was just all burst damage the whole time through. There was nothing to respond as far as Tension goes. They need to be able to utilize the mechanics of the characters they're playing.
There's Xanax escaping briefly. Snuggle Waffle will grab Joey G, but here's Xanax at very close range grabbing Navo. That could be huge now. He's got so many people in the backlines who are on low HP, and that'll be Tadashi backing him up as they grab Akmo and Fuzz. And finally, we do see Avant-Garde pressured and driven out. Tension, they're in control, and Tension, they're not letting Sok get away as they hunt him down and remove him with a nice hook.
Yeah, a little bit of shifts here. You're the last player left alive. Your whole team just got wiped. Why try to run all the way away and get chased down? Just go out. Just get some more coins underneath your belt by doing damage. Get your ultimate built up and die with your team, so that way all 5 of you can come back again. Now they're going to be without one of their takes.
Will be
Looks like actually his spawn timer was a lot faster than I expected, so maybe miscall on me, but...
Xanax doing the damage already, melting that shield. Silky's got almost nothing left. By contrast, Sir Dark Wolf is at full shield HP. This will allow them to stall for much longer, but Xanax does fall almost instantly. Navajo will grab one. Barrage coming in. Prompts a nice Immortal coming out, but that's just not enough as the Tree ultimate, the Grover ultimate, allows Avant-Garde to make a difference. Snuggle Wolf also not grabbing him. Sir Dark Wolf low on his actual HP as his shield is still at full, but that's just not enough. Nightfall will fall. Or rather, a nice escape, and Xanax actually grabs Akmo. Maybe this can work out in the other direction as Nightfall does finally fall, but we're seeing a decent hold coming out. No, Navo grabs Xanax. That might be the turnaround. Snuggle Waffle is the only hold, and he's got a nice hook and an obliteration. Zoe G does show up and do a bit of chip damage, but it's all left to just one Mako, and that lone Mako will fall, granting the 2-0 lead for Avant-Garde.
You know, the other thing to keep in mind here, if you're looking at the side of Tension, they did a good job by picking up 4 level 1 cauterizers, but you need more than just level 1. You know, 30% is something, but 60%, so much more. You need to be focusing your energy there. On the other side of things, Dark Wolf and Snuggle Waffle both picking up Veteran 1, which of course, as we had a little bit of a change to how out-of-combat regeneration works, is actually a pretty significant pickup for tanks. But the thing is, you have to be out of combat for that to be applied, and Snuggle Waffle and Sir Dark Wolf are just staying in combat too long. Again, if you're playing Fernando and you keep your shield up, that's still in combat. You have to have it down, and they're not letting themselves get back up to full HP before they re-engage with their team.
Yep, hopefully we will see the difference come out. Tension, I called it out. I've said they're so good at adapting. We're not seeing that. They're playing the same way. They're going as a group. They're kind of nervously not sure how to engage. And then they overcommit as one or two players. And then the rest commit. And it's awkward. And everyone's low HP. And it doesn't work out for them.
And this is exactly what you need on the point. You have two tanks, and that's working out well for them. The Illusionary Rift is used by the Ying, but Nightfall able to find a securing double kill on the Ying of her own, and Dark Wolf able to sit in those halls, clear everything out. That's exactly what you need to do, and this is what, Tension needs to just, realize by their composition where their strengths lie. They have a bigger front line, so force the issue. Take the fight to Avant-Garde. Don't play their style of game, play your own.
Here's Navo, definitely a key player, although we do have a 1-0 scoreline for Tension. Navo's been dominant so far, continually just doing some chip damage, peeking out. I love the Kha'Zix we see played in the OC region. They're very kind of reliant on chip damage. They peek out, they do a bit of damage, and then they hide again. They just preserve their HP as much as possible, and he's in engagement with Xenix now, chasing him around the corner. They actually have a brilliant flank, and there's a bit of a Tension sandwich coming out here on the point.
Yeah, and that's it's about as accurate as it gets. The Immortal will pop, though, to keep Sach alive, and if they can get some heals on, he's going to get to pretty full HP. Now that he's got the shield, they'll be able to do it. Fuzz with the double kill as well, and now it's just all Avant-Garde pushing the issue, and whoa, the axe to the face from Akmo in the distance there from downtown converts that on Xenix.
Yeah, once again, Avant-Garde in full control, and they're actually almost at match point for this series. As there's a nice flamethrower coming out from SocGG. He's now got Sir Darkwolf and his counterpart, both tanks, right in front of him. And the shields will go up, but his shield is just melting. That means that they're going to have a little bit more protection on the other side. Nice hook from Snugglewaffle. That pulls Sock into the backlines, but they can't capitalise on it. There's the barrage coming in. Nightfall actually grabs that kill. Xenix grabs one. Navo grabs an instant return, but that might be enough. Somehow, maybe Tension are getting through. Snugglewaffle will miss a hook, but it just doesn't matter because they're gaining so much ground.
Yeah, and right here you have to be careful not to get poked to death if you're Tension. This is long distance from spawn. Make sure you're focused and staying controlled as a team. Don't get bursted or poked out, and try to force the issue on your own terms.
There's Navo peeking out, grabbing the first kill onto Snugglewaffle, and now he's got his opponent Xenix right in his sights, and he's low on HP. Sir Darkwolf likewise. Sir Darkwolf will fall. Navo with a great double kill and a killing spree in total. There's the heals coming out. The overtime should be secured.
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's 30 seconds left as we hear the over-announcer get for us. But the overtime visual bug is in effect right now, so the players have only the audio to go off of to know that they only have a little bit less than half a minute left to go here. Still enough time if you are rooting for Tension Esports, but they need to find a pick here on the backside of this fight. They are able to pull a pretty successful flank, but the dash is punished immediately.
And Navo, he's holding such a good front line here. There is the McCall ultimate from Snuggle, immediately answered by a nice Immortal from Sock. That'll keep his team all alive, and the defense is successful as nobody's standing on the point. 3-1 and clear dominance from Avant-Garde. Tension, they stood up, they showed signs of life yet again, but we saw that on one defense last game. Is there anything to suggest it's more than that?
At the moment, I do not think so. The combination of ults there at the end just shows the awareness of Avant-Garde. The Immortal was popped, people were falling still rather low on health pools, so they dropped the Illusionary Rift to get that health pool back up, and they're able to sustain, obviously, all that damage that was attempted to be put in for the side of Tension Esports. But regardless of what happens here, you're looking at a situation where there are 5 ultimates on board, the Accursed Arm, the Immortal on the side of Tension is also active, and then the Scout, the Whirlwind, and then also Barrage for the side of Joey G on Avant-Garde. It's pretty even in that terms. They still have to commit here and try to get this capture point as quickly as possible.
And we're seeing it yet again. Already on the point and hunting down the flankers is Avant-Garde. They've got point control and the flanks over on Tension. They're being shut down individually one by one by the time they actually commit to this point fight. They have so many low HP players, and this will be the roll-in from Navo, collecting one hook to my Snugglewaffle. But there's a double kill, and he's almost got a triple before he reconsiders. But he does actually still have low HP champions if he wants to claim them, and Xenix might be at Xenix with the aerial and the Accursed Arm shut down instantly. Sock grabs Nightfall, Sock grabs Darkwolf, and that's a team wipe. And the game going dominantly in favour of Avant-Garde. That'll be the game and the series. 2-0 for Avant-Garde.
And again, you look at what Tension was trying to do to set up in that sunroom there. They were just taking free damage. At no point did they commit to going on the point. They were just sitting, looking through that doorway, and taking free damage the entire time. And Navo's like, well, if you're going to sit here and let me chip down your health pool, I'm just going to dodge roll it, kill 2 of you, dodge roll right back out. And that results in the finals sort of there for that capture point being fully converted. An easy game relatively there for Avant-Garde.
Yep, we are, of course, looking at the scoreboard. Anything standing out to you?
You know, interestingly enough, the damage stats are actually, you know, and eliminations too, relatively even from the team. Obviously, Navo and Sach GG pulling out 22 eliminations each, able to pretty much convert every single elimination that was on the field. But that being said, there were so many opportunities that were just missed by Tension Esports. And even though the stat lines are relatively similar, if you were just to watch each control point fight, you could see the timidness of Tension Esports falling subject to the aggressive power of Avant-Garde.
Can we briefly talk about the healing coming out from Akmo? Like, Grover, he's not considered viable by the OC or the NA region. By the EU or the NA region, and indeed OCE players do shun him just based on that, but Akmo's definitely doing work.
Yeah, he did a good job of utilizing Whirlwind correctly. The Immortal would come out, people were low on HP, safely pop the Whirlwind where you can get your health pools back up. It's a lot of that is where it comes from. And of course, being able to utilize his passive heal by standing next to the correct champions is also huge when it looks at that final stat line. And again, recovery was also picked up by a number of the players on Avant-Garde, so that extra 10% plus healing is obviously going to make that stat line influx a little bit.
Yep, of course we will throw back over to our beautiful faces as we wrap up this broadcast. We do have the information, the final game of the night, the planned game between Proper Etiquette and Corvador. There we go. I can't say their name, but something along those lines. It will be cancelled because they played their game earlier. As a result, we're not able to broadcast it due to some miscommunication. They didn't play it at the proper time. We will be watching all 3 games next week, though. But as for right now, unfortunately, we will be unable to broadcast that final game. So, Chef, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Do you have any closing thoughts on the OCE Pro League?
This is a scene that is still young, still growing. The thing about it for all you players out there that are either considering to get into the competitive scene or for you competitive players who are out there already, make sure you're being over analytical of what your team is bringing. Compare it to other VODs around the globe, whether it's EU, NA, Latin America, Brazil. Find other competitive games and see where your strengths lie versus your flaws and try to adapt, change. The game's going to be always changing. You need to be the same way.
Yeah, of course. My name has been TJ. You can find me on Twitter at esportstj. My co-caster is iHoldShift. He hosts one-man gun shows, actually. He doesn't even need any actual weapons. He just uses his fiery arms. We will be back next week, or at least... We will be back next week, or at least I will be. Hopefully with Envision, who was unfortunately unable to make this cast due to some personal issues. Hopefully... we will see a bit more matches next week, as all 3 teams should be able to play. This was, of course, only week 1 of the Oceania Pro League. So, from me, iHoldShift, and everyone here over on production for the Oceanic Paladins Pro League, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Transform